All right, welcome. We are looking at lesson 4 of unit 5. And today our objective is to use system of linear equations to model and solve real world problems, understand how we can use systems of linear inequalities to solve real world problems. So let's start with the first example. We're going to break one of these down bit by bit. Video streaming service Atomic Stream charges $10 for membership and $1 for each movie download. Blitz Video charges $15 for a membership and 50 cents per movie download. How many movies would you need to download for the services to have identical costs? What is that cost? So I want to kind of go through some questions here because I want you to actually think about all the various numbers that you're being given and what do they actually mean. So for part A, it says, what do we know about Atomic Stream? Well, what we know is that it costs $10 for the membership and then $1 per download. So that's a piece of information. And then what do we know about Blitz Video? Blitz Video we know is $15 for the membership and only 50 cents, so $0.50 per download. Oops, download, there we go. All right, so now we want to talk about some variables. First, what does X represent? Well, in this case, X is going to represent a movie download. X equals a movie download. So essentially what we're saying here is that these amounts, $1 per download, 50 cents per download, we would be multiplying these by X in two different equations. So then the question is, what does Y represent? And that's a more difficult question. Well, Y would have to represent the total cost of a membership plus however many downloads somebody does in a month or a year, whenever this cost is. So if we now want to put this in and create two linear equations, we could have Y equals 1x plus 10. That represents Atomic Stream. All right, there we go. That would represent Atomic Stream. And then the other would be Y equals 0.50x plus 15. And that's going to represent Blitz Video. Now solve using substitution or elimination. So we can really use any system we want here to try to solve either one of these equations. We can do the elimination method. If we do that, we're going to have to rearrange these so that we have X and Y on the same side. So maybe in this case, substitution might be a better method because we can simply substitute one of these equations into the other. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to substitute this first equation into the second equation. So I'm going to substitute 1x plus 10 in for y. So that means I'm going to have 1x plus 10 is equal to 0.5x plus 15. I can subtract 0.5x from both sides. I can subtract 10 from both sides. And I'm going to get 0.5x is equal to 5. And therefore, x is going to equal 10. Okay? And then I can plug this in to one of those equations. So I can say y equals, I'm going to use Atomic's equation. And since x is 10, 1 times 10 is 10. So I've got 10 plus 10. So y is going to equal 20. Okay? So what does this all mean? Well, it means that 10 movie downloads is going to cost $20. And both Atomic Blitz and both Atomic Stream and Blitz Video are going to have the same cost of $20 if we have 10 movie downloads. Okay? Let's look at another example. It says one cable television provider has $60 setup fee and charges $80 per month. Another cable provider has $160 equipment fee and charges $70 per month. When will the cost of the two companies be the same, and what is that cost? Again, I can set these up. The cost would be Y. So I'm going to have two different equations. And the first one is going to be $80 per month. So that's 80x plus the $60 setup fee. And then the other is $70 per month. So 70x plus the $160 fee. And now once again, I can use the substitution method. I'm going to substitute this equation in for y. So I'll have 80x plus 60 is equal to 70x plus 160. I can subtract 60 from both sides. I can subtract 70x from both sides, which gives me 10x is equal to 100. Therefore, x is going to equal 10. And then I can just plug that value of 10 back into one of the equations. So I'm going to have y is equal to 80 times 10 plus 60. And y will equal 860. So what does this mean? Well, x is number of months. Y is the total cost. So 10 months. It's going to cost $860, and it's going to cost that same amount whether we go with the first cable provider or the second cable provider. They will have the exact same cost at that 10-month mark. All right. We'll continue more of these in the next session.